Hey everyone, welcome back to Review Wars. I'm Kyle.
JP
over here. Today we're going to talk about the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. As always, we're going to talk in the four categories.
As always,
since a few videos ago, who knows. If you watch our earlier stuff, it's a little bit different, but now we have a little bit more regulated. So, yeah.
I know this. I'm fucking telepathic.
So, it's visual, story, acting, directing, and then our overall biases and grade. So, JP, what do you think of the visuals? What do you think of the effects?
Visuals, they came across as Sony.
Okay, so
I mean, we all know that it's like
that top tier. I mean, they've always had pretty good visuals in Spider-Man movies.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The beginning of MCU with Captain America was not very good visuals. But yeah, it seemed like everything was Marvel, and all the camera work and it all seemed very Sony because the quality was a little lacking, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. But the visuals were good. It was a 7.
7, okay.
It was a 7.
I like the visual a little bit more. I'll give it an 8. I think that Spider-Man's world is just a lot more colorful, so they try to go with that. They did a really good job of...
More colorful?
Yeah, it's colorful. Like, compared to other movies where they're a little bit more dark and gritty.
Like other MCU movies?
There's a few MC movies that are a little dark and gritty.
Like?
I'd say probably some of the later, Civil Wars? Not Civil War, I'm sorry. Captain America 2, Winter Soldier's a little dark and gritty.
It still looked very colorful and vibrant.
Okay, well, my bad. It
is.
A little,
I was hoping you'd go cliche and go Dark World.
Dark World, yeah. No, but no, it's very well filmed. The effects in it are really cool. This one was a little bit different than the Amazing Spider-Man series, where the Amazing Spider-Man series went very tactical. It was a lot of actually a stunt double probably in the Spider-Man suit doing all the action scenes by hand, where this one is a lot more flips and things like that, so they had to use CG. Unfortunately for me, I would give it higher, but at the same time, like all the cool effects you saw in the trailer, so like I wasn't wowed by anything new in the movie. So while it was interesting, I hesitate to give it a high grade, but at the same time, they didn't wow me with anything brand new. What do you think of the story?
Loved it. I love the character of Peter Parker. I think it's the best character interpretation of Spider-Man yet. I love it. The Vulture, great story. I like the whole story as a whole. I liked Iron Man's point in it. I like how they had him in little bits and pieces. But it was a great story. I really liked it. It was, especially the villain aspect, I liked it way better than other Marvel movies as far as the protagonist-antagonist dynamic. I liked it.
What would you give it as a grade, like number-wise?
I'm going to get an 8. It's a solid 8.
Okay.
Definitely. It's good.
God, I almost don't want to do this, but I have to give it a 10 for story. It was very impressive. From my Spider-Man standpoint, I like 2's villain better. I like Doc Ock a little bit better as the villain, but at the same time, this is a complete storyline. This is my Peter Parker. Tom Holland did a great job. I like the high school Peter Parker. I don't like the fact of, like, in the first Spider-Man when he was a senior and was basically graduating. I like the fact that he's a sophomore in this one. He has room to grow. He's going through all those things. Him jumping on the bed and trying to prove he's not a kid anymore.
Oh, he's
100% like a little kid. He likes to talk smack. He has all the wisecracks and stuff like that.
He's constantly fumbling and making mistakes.
He's completely relatable as a teenage kind of like, I don't say punk kid, but like him getting mad at Iron Man about like, oh, you put the training wheels program on my suit and stuff like that.
That makes me laugh.
As far as the Vulture goes, he was a good villain. They gave him a little bit of backstory, which is better than a lot of other Spider-Man's villains got. He wasn't as fleshed out as he could have been, but still a very good bad guy. It was very nice and refreshing that like
origin.
The world was at stake. That's a good point too. But like the world wasn't at stake in this one. This is just Spider-Man going against a top-level thief.
Working class villain. Loved it.
So the idea that Marvel had of just like, people know he got bit by a spider, we don't need to go over it. Perfect. So I gave it a 10.
He got bit by a spider?
Yeah,
I thought like radioactive material spilled on him.
It depends on what comic book you read.
Maybe.
You never know.
The spider was a little sexual with him. Skate.
I mean, I don't know what kind of weird comics you read, but that's probably not the case. Anyways, let's go to the next category of acting and directing.
Oh, acting, directing. Loved it. The acting. I loved Michael Keaton as the Vulture. The Vulture is actually one of my top villains in the MCU or most comic book movies. He was just...
Really?
I love the blue-collar villain. I actually felt for him.
So
I liked it.
So you probably liked Electro. He was kind of like the blue-collar guy that came into Spider-Man.
His character made absolutely no sense.
He was right there. He's like a scientist.
Yeah.
And he's like,
that's the whole Urkel to...
Stephon
Arkell transition. Makes absolutely no sense.
Stephon Arkell a little bit better, but that's good. All right.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Didn't care for it. Hated it. No, I love the Vulture. I love the blue-collar working-class guy and just trying to make a living and support his family and his employees, and he was committing, crime, yeah, but it wasn't. I mean, they weren't really threatening people's lives. They were dealing weapons to
they were 100%
people.
doing that, yeah.
Yeah, but I really felt for him. I liked him. And then I love the dynamic at the end when they give you the plot twist of who he is and then the relation with Peter Parker.
No spoilers, yeah, but yeah.
It was great. I love the Vulture. And going back to visuals, I mean, him in the Vulture suit flying around just was awesome. It was great. But yeah, the acting, Tom Holland, he brings it. I don't know why, but he just... He gets me very excited about Spider-Man.
Okay, so Ray, what would you give it?
Man, that was great acting. I really can't think of anything. I was entwined in the whole thing, so I'll give it a 9.
9?
It wasn't top notch. It wasn't perfect, but it was damn good.
Tom Holland is my Spider-Man right now. He's probably my favorite. Even though he's only been in one movie, he's better in my mind than Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. What?
He's been in 2 movies.
I guess, yeah. I'm sorry, Civil War as well. But this is his first real chance to really show you what he's got.
Shit, he did better in Civil War than any Tobey Maguire or Garfield.
He killed it in this one. Vulture was awesome. Aunt May was good for her limited role. Marissa Tomei. I mean, she didn't have that much in the movie.
She's a spicy meatball.
His friends were okay. They were kind of, I don't know. I
wasn't the chair guy.
Yeah, the chair guy.
The chair guy.
He was a little too cliche.
No, he wasn't. Nobody's the chair guy. He literally was happy to be the cliche.
Yeah, I guess.
So it cancels out the cliche.
I guess, but realistically, Michael Keaton and Tom Holland's kind of stole the movie from everyone. Even Robbie Downey Jr.
What you want?
No, they're the 2 main characters, the main villain, main hero, going at each other. Robbie Downey Jr. was fine for his role. He's Iron Man now. You've seen him a million times. He's good.
It was a pinch of spice, perfect for his character.
But I guess I'm gonna have to give it an 8. Some of the movie felt awkwardly paced for me. I hated the fact that if you watch the trailers, you got to see every action scene. So I really didn't like the directing. So that's what's gonna lower it down a few notches for me.
You didn't see every action scene.
You saw every action scene in it, basically. He hasn't seen all the trailers.
The van?
He hasn't seen all the trailers.
You don't see the van.
You basically see everything.
You basically.
But anyways, you know what's going to happen. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. There was no huge surprises. There was a few shockers, but there was nothing giant big.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't.
Giant.
So I give it an 8. It's good.
Seriously?
It's good.
There was one giant.
I mean, for you maybe, but you don't really know anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's huge, and in your world, this is huge. In my world, your huge thing is about this big. It's intelligence. Anyways, your biases and overall grade. What you think?
Probably top 5 MCU movies or top 5 comics.
So are we putting this as an MCU? I guess it is technically.
It's MCU,
okay,
yeah.
MCU,
100%.
Okay. All right.
100%.
Sony movie. Okay.
Oh man, overall grade. I want to say 9, but I'm going to go with an 8. It could have been better. A lot of the filming and some of the CGI and the wire work was a little off-putting. But nowhere near where it would even ruin the scene in itself. So it's definitely an 8. I'm going to go with an 8. It was a great movie. I loved it. I really liked it. I'm not much of a teenager or a kid actor thing, and don't get me wrong, he is not. He's neither. Because Tom Holland is definitely an adult at this point. But
he's what, 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. But his character is supposed to be a teen. But it was great. I was completely immersed in the story. I loved it. And Robert Downey was that was great.
He was great. He probably
he was there.
He probably won't be in the next one, but it was great for him in this one. It's kind of bringing him along and stuff like that. It's
Captain America's supposed to be the next one? I think they're hinting at that.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. I mean, I don't know if they really have anything planned for the next one. So you give it an 8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go 9. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes. He's always been. He's just awesome. He's just always connected with me.
He likes boys in spandex.
I mean, that's basically every superhero, right? It's just an adult man, muscular man in spandex is basically superheroes. I like Spider-Man a lot. I love the Tobey Maguire ones back in the day when I thought that was the epitome. That was the coolest at the time.
When I was a kid, it was cool.
Those were the best Spider-Man movies I've ever seen. And then, Andrew Garfield's were okay. Tom Holland's really brought it home. The story, I don't really know of a good way to make the story better. There's probably little tweaks you could have done. But man, it was just a good...
The fairy scene. That was the worst part.
It was just good overall. I liked as much as I kind of said his friends were okay before, but they were still good. Happy's part in the movie, Iron Man's butler, he was good in the movie as well. They had a lot. It was just a great movie. So I have to give it a 9. It was not perfect. There was things they could have improved on a little bit in my mind, but at the same time, like I would definitely watch it again. It's awesome. I'm actually really excited for the future of the franchise. It's just because after the first Andrew Garfield one, Amazing Spider-Man, I was kind of already done with like I'm like all right, well I'm done. I don't need to watch anymore.
Oh, Spider-Man's going the way of Fantastic Four. Yay.
Yeah, that's what happened before. Thank God. Hopefully Fantastic Four goes the way of Spider-Man now and joins Marvel.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see if that ever happens. I hope it does for its sake. But, man, I'm just really excited to see what Tom Holland's going to do with that character. He seems like a really great actor. He really embraces the role, and, man, it's just really fun to see. Spider-Man has so many cool bad guys that they could bring out. I was really skeptical in the Vulture when I saw the preview.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but now
And Michael Keaton, especially after the Birdman movie,
yeah,
I was just like, come on.
I'm ready to see what they do next. I'm hoping they don't rush things. I know Sony's putting out an independent Venom movie, which is kind of shaky, but
Tom Hardy. Wow.
We'll wait and see. But anyways, let us know what you think of the new Spider-Man movie. Let's see if you agree with us and think it's great, or if you're just like, they could have done better, and we'll see if it branches out a way. So, like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.
You excited to see Tom Hardy?